Alright, down in the comments, I've had a lot of people asking to show my finishing technique. Super easy, does a great job. Takes a little bit of time, but that's mostly the sanding. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how I get that shine on the finish, on the wood and the resin. Alright, what I got here is a piece from an upcoming video. It'll probably be out Thursday. It's wood and a white resin. First thing we need to do with this is get all these lines out of here, and I either use 60 or 80 grit. I'm going to use this mandrel with a little bit of 80 or 60 grit on it, and we're going to get that off of there. I leave the lathe spinning at about 500-600. I stop and blow it off with compressed air. And it looks like most of the lines, except for down here at the bottom, are off. And I use my fingers to feel it. Alright, now that I've got the first sanding down, I've got it smooth, we're going to switch over to 120 grit. Now I'm going to go up the grits until I hit about 240. So I'll be right back. So what I got now is I see the holes and stuff like that in this wood. We're going to fill that with some black CA glue real quick. Now I'm going to let that sit for about 5 or 6 minutes to set, and then we'll go from there. And then I sand it with 240 again. Now it's time for some sanding sealer, and I like the Malin's cellulose sanding sealer. I found that it's probably the best. And I usually wear gloves with this, but I don't feel like getting any on. And then I buff it on. Now it's time to go from 240 up to 800. Now at this point you're still going to see a lot of the little small scratches. Let's see if we can get in on this anymore. Alright, so there's still some scratches in there, and that's where we come off of this a little bit, and that's where we're going to start using. You can use Yorkshire grit, whatever, or you could use the Axe abrasive paste, and that's what we're going to use today. I like using the Axe on resin a little bit better than the Yorkshire grit. The reason being is that after I put on everything and then buff it off and then put my OB Shine Juice on there, the OB Shine Juice with the Yorkshire grit has a film that goes over it which shows fingerprints real good, and this does not. Alright, so now you're going to put this down at a low speed to buff it on. What you're doing right now is acting like 1,000 grit sandpaper. And then once you have it buffed on real good, speed it up. And this takes a little bit because I like to buff it on there as much as I can and then take every bit of it off so I don't have any on my rag left. So I'll speed this up. And you'll see there's nothing on there now. Alright, and now you can see that those scratches are gone. Oh, you might not have been able to see them so good, but I could. So the next thing I do is I put some of this Axe Polish Restorer paste on there. And this is fairly easy too. Okay, I'm just using cut up pieces of t-shirt here. I tried paper towels and I did not like the paper towels. They would come off and get into the cellulose sanding sealer. And you just buff that on high speed and buff it off. And none's coming off. Alright, so now you can see this doesn't even really need some of the OB Shine Juice, which I'll put a link up here for you to see how to make that OB Shine Juice. But we're still going to use it. We're going to give it a shot here. So you take the OB Shine Juice and you shake it up. I've got mine in one of those bottles for glue, the glue bots. Take it and you start smearing it on, lightly smeared on. Once you get it smeared on, take it, and this is a friction polish, so you want to burnish it. So you get it up pretty fast. I get mine up about 2,300 RPM. And just start doing it. And what you're doing is you're getting it so hot that it cures. Now I put 6 coats of this on there, okay, but you can see it, there it is. And that's how I do my finishes. Super easy, super quick. Anybody can do it. I hope that you've enjoyed this. If you have, I'd love for you to go down and hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, and share the video so everyone else can see how it's done. Well, until next time, stay cool. Oh, one last thing. I leave it sitting on the lathe without touching it for at least 30 minutes after I put the OB Shine Juice on. It looks, and it's not tacky or anything, but it'll take some fingerprints to it. So just leave it there, let it cure for 30 minutes to an hour afterwards.